Today, I want to talk to you about the most common word in the English language, the. Hey everyone, my name is Wes from interactiveenglishvideos.com, and this channel, it's all about helping you practice and improve your English skills. And today, I have a grammar lesson for you because I want to teach you 25 rules that you can follow so that you know when to use the article the. If you are a person that loves learning grammar rules because you think that rules make it a little easier for you to follow, then this lesson is for you. So the first rule that I have for you is you are going to use the when you are talking about things that you have already mentioned. This is sometimes called the rule of first mention because the first time you mention something, you will use the indefinite article a or an, but the next time, the second time that you mention it, you will use the definite article the. Let me give you an example so you know what I'm talking about. Look at this picture. Here is a man with a bucket. He has water in the bucket. So the first time I mention the noun bucket, I use that indefinite article, but the second time I mention it, it's already been mentioned, I'm going to use the. Then I could go on and say, there is a plant next to the man. He is watering the plant, all right? But now, when you are talking, selling some story, you're not going to emphasize the just like I did. I just wanted to make sure it was easy for you to understand. So the second time that I mentioned all of those things, I used the. We also use the when there is only one of something, and we kind of just assume that there is only one. So maybe I go to a restaurant and I ask somebody, where's the toilet? I just assume that there is only one toilet in that restaurant, so I would use the. Or maybe I could say, we went for a walk in the park. Or even, we drove to the mall downtown. In that case, downtown, we just assume that there is only one mall. We drove to the mall downtown. We use the when we want to refer to specific count nouns, those nouns that we can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for example, maybe you come over and visit me, and I tell you, make yourself comfortable, have a seat on the couch. I say, have a seat on the couch. It's specific. You know that I'm really just talking about one because yes, there is only one couch in my home, even though it is a count noun, the couch. Or maybe I ask you and I say, please, can you hit the like button? It's specific. There's just one like button. So yeah, please go ahead, hit that like button. Please hit the like button. We also use the to refer to specific non-count nouns. Those non-countable nouns, for example, I could ask somebody, please pass me the salt. Salt is a non-count noun. Or maybe this is something when we travel, I always, just to be safe, I always ask people, is the water safe to drink? Is the tap water safe to drink? Water is a non-count noun, but I will use the. Is the water safe to drink? We use the to refer to objects that are unique. The sun, the moon, the sky. We also use the to refer to people that are unique as well. The boss, the president, the Pope. Yes, there's only one Pope. And then we use the before superlatives. She is the smartest person in the class. Wes is the best English teacher in the world, all right? Or maybe you could be thinking, you know what, this guy is the worst. Whether or not you think I'm the best or the worst, all I care about is that you remember we use the before superlatives, the fastest, the most comfortable, the spiciest, the most beautiful, the before superlatives. We use the before ordinal numbers. Now, this is not always going to be the case, but if you're talking about a very common sentence that somebody might use with ordinal numbers, and they say, this is the time something happened. This is the first time that something happened. For example, if I were, again, to ask you, please hit the like button, then I could say, this is the second time that I've asked you to do that. So yes, please, just go ahead and do it. All right, this is the second time I've asked that. We use the with clauses introduced by only. This is the only day I have available. Or maybe I could say, you are the only person that I trust. We also use the when we talk about decades, the 1960s, or perhaps somebody might just say the 70s. That's when I was born, or the 80s. Gotta love those one-hit wonders. If you want to refer to groups of people, like those collective nouns, you are going to use for example, the French, the British, the elderly, the police, the rich, the poor. Those are all collective nouns, and you will use that definite article the. We also use the if we want to talk about rivers, the Amazon, the Nile. We use the if we want to talk about mountain ranges as well. The Rockies, the Andes, the Alps. Oceans, that's another rule. If you're talking about oceans, you need to use the. So I could ask you, what is your favorite ocean? Is it the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean? We use the if we're talking about deserts. The Sahara Desert. I've never been to the Sahara Desert. I've driven through the Mojave Desert, but I've never been to the Sahara. But either way, we got to use the before those deserts. We use the when talking about certain points on the globe, the North Pole, the South Pole, the equator. We also use this definite article if we're talking about the names of islands, especially as a group, the Bahamas. And especially if you can follow the name with the word islands, then you know, okay, use the Hawaiian Islands, the Galapagos Islands. We use the when talking about countries with plural names, like the Philippines or the Netherlands. I think it may just be those two, all right? But just remember, countries with plural names, use the. We're also going to use the when talking about countries with a name that really it says the type of state it is, like kingdom or republic. So for example, I could say the United States. I am from the US, or the United Kingdom, or even the Republic of China. We use the when talking about the names of newspapers, the New York Times or the Washington Post. Now, there will be some exceptions to this rule, and I think it's just because maybe the newspaper wants to be creative and have a catchy name, but in general, you're going to use the before the names of newspapers. You will also use the before the names of buildings or structures like the Empire State Building or the Great Wall of China or the pyramids. You need to use the when talking about monuments like the Statue of Liberty or the Statue of David or even the Taj Mahal. You will use the when talking about museums as well, such as the Louvre or the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That's probably the last museum that I visited. You will use the when talking about the names of hotels, like the Marriott or the Hilton. There will be some exceptions to this rule. And you are going to use the when talking about the names of families. In this case, you're talking about not individual people, but the family as a group. So, like the movie Harry Potter, you might hear people say the Potters when talking about the family. Or a very famous family, they have their own TV show, the Kardashians. So those are 25 rules that you can follow so that you know when to use the definite article the. Now, you do not need to memorize all of these rules. What I would encourage you to do is just get more exposure to the language, because the more you read, the more you listen, you are just going to learn these rules naturally, and then you'll be able to use the definite article correctly when you're writing or just having a conversation. That is what I would recommend. If you enjoyed this lesson, again, please hit the like button. This is now the third time that I've asked you to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.